All right, everybody, ding, ding. We are back at it again. This is Ringside Presents Corner Confessions, and we are back with another installment. And we are here with the remarkable and the legendary Eshe. What's your full name?
Well, everybody calls me Eshe Light now. So,
Eshe Light. Okay.
Eshe Light, yes. I'm kind of rebranding my name and everything.
Okay,
But I've also been known as Mosho Eshe or just Eshe.
Eshe's beautiful. You're the first
you.
Eshe I've ever met.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody out there, if she looks familiar, this is the one and only Eshe from Arrested Development. I know Arrested Development. I was actually, the first time I heard Tennessee, I was in Tennessee.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Memphis specifically, but yes, definitely you guys are definitely well known and remarkable contributions to music. And so we're going to get it in like we do. If you're out there,
yes.
definitely make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're not out, if you're out there on social media, find the Ringside Facebook group, request to join, and either myself or one of the admins will admit you. So without further ado, we're going to just go ahead and dive into it. So Miss Eshe,
yes,
I can do an introduction, but I know your introduction will be off the chain. So I'm gonna let you take the reins. So kind of briefly, kind of break down who you are, what people know you as, and kind of give like a brief rundown of who you are and your background.
Okay, so my name is Eshe, and I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a true Georgia peach.
ATL, shawty.
ATL.
Yes.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I dance, I'm a singer, I do artist development, I do choreography, I do consulting, I manage, I do a lot of things in the entertainment business. I've actually been in the entertainment business since the age of 11.
Okay.
And I am 46 years young today.
Okay.
My birthday is not until December.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, to date.
Okay.
I'm 46 years young. And I just love dancing and entertaining people and making people smile and just sharing light in the world, my light, whatever light that is within me, and whatever talents I have, I do it through my arts. I grew up dancing. I've been dancing since I was 2 years old. And my mother was one of the first Black-owned dance schools here in Atlanta. It was called the Gaither School of Dance.
Okay.
And my mom is no longer with us, but I'm continuing her legacy through the arts. So so that's how I got my foundation and my introduction into the arts was my mom. And she nurtured the gift, and then I had the opportunity to audition for Arrested Development at the age of 13. I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And speech and headliner, the founding members, they were in college. And so Ian Burke, shout out to Ian Burke and my sister, Yankita. They gave me the opportunity for the audition, because actually it was my sister's audition and she didn't want to do it, so she passed it on to me.
Big shout out to the sister.
Yeah, so and that's how it all started for me as far as being thrust, if you will, into the music industry. But I've been doing it a long time, and since I've started way back when, I've delved into other aspects of the industry outside of Arrested Development. So
all right. Okay.
I hope that was good.
No, I think that was great. That was great. And everybody out there, if you're listening, you're seeing this right now. Her smile is very contagious.
Oh, you're so sweet.
She got me smiling. I'm like, okay,
I smile all the time,
But when you're around someone who's happy and they smiling, you can't help but smile.
I appreciate that.
That's the effect it has on me.
Yeah.
But no, you're definitely, you're well known. I'm trying to remember, was it 1991 or 92 when Tennessee? I remember
91.
Okay.
So 91 we came out. Well, Tennessee came out. I want to say it was a buzz clip on MTV, and it was released, and then it kind of blew up the next year, as it just started spiraling. Because we did a video, was it in the fall? I remember it was super cold in 1991, and then the next year everything just kind of.
Well, no, I remember that because it was 91. I remember that was my first year in junior high. I remember exactly.
Wow.
I just remember being. I'm not gonna lie. I just remember being in middle school, in my junior high gymnasium. We're in gym class, and people started singing Tennessee. People started singing that song and we're like, are they talking about us? We're in Tennessee. And we had but I just remember people in my class, in gym class, start rapping Tennessee.
Nice. I love it.
So the song definitely caught on.
I love it.
So you mentioned you've been in the entertainment industry for a long time.
Yes, I have.
I've interviewed, folks who, have been, who are rappers, entertainers, and, as we talked about, my channel is, devoted to the subject matter of singlehood, dating, marriage, divorce, sex, and kink.
Right.
And, when you talk about the music industry and people who are artists, of course you need to be devoted and committed to your craft. You want to be a great artist, but,
Totally.
we're all human. And human beings, we long for human connection,
Yes.
we long for, company and everything that comes with it. So, but when you're in the entertainment industry, you're well known. You have fame, you have notoriety, people know who you are. And let's be honest, sometimes that can bring in some folks who can
my
be
goodness.
disingenuous. So, but if you're someone
Yeah.
if you're someone who, like yourself, your name and your image is out there, you're on MTV, which is a big deal.
Right.
But you're looking for that human connection, a sincere connection. How has it been, from your experiences, how has it been trying to find sincere human connection versus people who just want to ride your coattails and just want to say, they just want to ride along with you and Arrested Development, or they want to date you because they're trying to get their music career popping off.
Lord.
So how do you make that distinction? How do you determine who's real and who's an opportunist?
You know what? It's very hard. Because I'm a people person. I'm super friendly. I'll talk to anybody. Like, I'm very friendly. And so I think a lot of times people have taken my kindness for weakness, you know what I mean, throughout the years. And I've just learned, like, I just used to be super trusting. Now I'm not so much, you know what I mean? I used to give people like 100% from the gate, and then they would chip away from that 100%. Now I literally say, okay, we're going to start with 0. And then we're going to work our way up to the 100% versus the other way I used to do it. It's just been really hard because, like you said, you really don't know who likes you for you, or what they think you have, or who they think you may know, or, if they're like, you've always, I was their crush or something back in the day, like their celebrity crush or somebody, and they're like, oh, I just want to, I crushed on you back then, and you just never know. And like, anybody who really knows me, like really knows me, I am very like, what you see is what you get. I'm big on integrity. I'm super like honest. And I just don't like to play games with people at all, because I know what it's like to have your heart broken so many times because you are genuine and authentic and vulnerable. Because when you really, trying to get to know someone, it is a level of vulnerability that has to be in place. You know what I mean?
You gotta be vulnerable.
Exactly. And unfortunately, nowadays, people aren't like that. They just, it's really sad to me that, like, people are so afraid to really express themselves because they're like, if I express myself, then she may feel like she has upper hand on me, or he may feel, it's like a game. And I don't understand that. Like, if I love you, and you're gonna know. Like, I'm one of those people, you're never gonna have to figure out what I'm thinking, because I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean?
Very transparent,
you know what
very
I mean?
open.
Yes, because I just believe that we should be. Life is so, first of all, it's a gift, and it's so fragile. You know what I mean? And I look at my mother. She passed away in 2015 in November 7th. And it was like, I didn't even know my mom was sick. And she was here one day and gone the next. It was like literally that quick. You know what I mean? And thank God I had such a solid relationship with her. There was no regrets, You know what I mean? Of course, my mom was my best friend. I miss her dearly. But I think even going through that, and then I lost a lot of people during that time. So it was like over 23 people. It just really made me say, you know what? I'm not going to hold back anything. If I love somebody or I care for somebody, I'm going to tell them.
Right.
Because you never know. You know what I mean? Look what just happened in 2020. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Just like, if that didn't shift you, I don't really know what to say. Like that, it changed me on so many levels. You know what I mean? And I just think, well, my friends, they always joke with me and they're like, you are so green and so different. But when I love very strong and with everything in me.
You know, I'm hard.
Oh man, but not in a negative way.
But no, in a
but
good
in
way.
a good way. You know what I mean?
You have a lot of people, who that's their character. They love hard.
I love hard.
I can definitely commend you. And even people like you, because unlike you, I'm somewhat cynical. And so, but when I'm around people who can endure the pandemic, endure all the pain and heartbreak, but still maintain that optimism, still maintain that light. That's something I envy, because it's not easy. Because I'm definitely I feel you. I mean, heartbreak is something. It's rough.
It's like a death. It really is like a death.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
heartbreak,
a real death.
Divorce, betrayal, and it can hurt. It can definitely. It's painful.
Yes.
But, shout out to everybody who seeks therapy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and no stigma when it comes to therapy.
I am all for that, and I think for me, I just refuse to allow someone else's behavior, or how they handle me, or the lack thereof, how they should have handled me, or how I would have wanted them to handle me, change me. I don't want to be, I'm not bitter. I think I'm just very cautious now, super cautious. And I've been single for a very, very long time, for multiple reasons. I was married once to my daughter's father, and after we were no longer together, I wanted to just work on me, and figure out, okay, what about me could be better? Or why did this happen? Or why did I react to this? Or why did that trigger me? Or, you know what I mean? And really just finding myself. And so I have literally been single. I think my daughter's 18 now. I have probably been on 7 dates in 18 years.
Well, I think honestly that is a great segue into what I want to talk to you about in this regard, because you before we began taping, you talked about a long tenure being single.
Yes.
And in my group, I have a private Facebook group. I've been in this genre for a little over 10 years. Surrounded by people, women and men, who have dealt with the ills of being single, the pressures to get married, the pressures to be booed up, the pressure.
Come on, booed up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. When cuffing season comes around, people, and you honestly do see people who they dive in relationships just simply because they just don't want to be single.
Yeah, that's not me. Not me.
They don't want to deal with parents asking when you gonna get somebody, or they don't want to. They get tired of going to people's weddings and not having their own, just a myriad of reasons. Yeah. So, but it sounds like, just the vibe and energy I'm getting from you. I want you to talk briefly about the utility and benefit of being single, because with single life can involve so much restoration, renovation, yes. It can involve it can be so empowering.
Yes.
But for a lot of people out there, and they're gonna be people who are gonna watch this now who are single and damn near like depressed because. But can you talk briefly about what's the upside? What are the benefits? What are some of the great things you've learned about yourself and just life in general, just being single?
Oh my God. So, being single has been like a beautiful journey. At moments, it's been challenging. I'm not going to lie, because I have so much love to give and I want to give it, but I truly want it reciprocated. You understand what I'm saying? With no strings attached, no bars, no walls up. Like, be vulnerable with me as I am with you, right? So during this time of my singleness, I just been working on me, like from weight loss to mental health to emotional health to spiritual growth to physical health, dealing with the loss of my mother. That was a huge blow. And like I was saying, I lost so many people during that time. So it was like, literally, no lie, from like 2013 to even up to the top of this year. I mean, like, oh my God, for between, I think, 2014, 15, I was losing people literally like every other month or every 2 months. And that's a lot. And so I stopped counting because it was just that many people. And my mother was the greatest blow of it all. And I am naturally a worker. I'm a worker bee, right? So I love to work, stay busy, pour into people, be productive, right? But I was going. 2020 hit, everybody had to stop.
The whole world stopped.
Sit your butt down, right? So when I sat down, I noticed in that moment that I hadn't unpacked any of my bags from being on tour. I've been on tour for most of my life, all that, literally and figuratively. So God began to deal with me and say, it's time for us to unpack this bag. So I had been purging since my mom passed. I started purging. But grief goes straight to your gut. So I was holding everything here, just gut. I was, dealing with sickness. I've never been sick. Like the things that I've gone through since her passing, it was just like, this just came out of nowhere because I've never been like a person that gets like sick. You know what I mean? But it was like I was holding all that grief in and the pain and And when I listen, baby, and it started affecting my body. But when I let go and start dealing with it, and some days I literally had to get up and fight. Like literally, when I say fight, like fight for my life, because it was so hard. Because not only was I dealing with the loss of my mother, I was dealing with the loss of things happening in my career, or the shift and the change that was happening because of the pandemic, or different things. And then seasons ending with this person or that person. Because one thing about me, relationships are in my life, friends, business, they mean the world to me. So when I pour into people, I pour. And so when seasons end, it's like, whew, okay, that season ended. Now I got to shift to something different. What do I do now? You know what I mean? So it was just a lot of that. And so 2020, of course, it was horrific on one end because of so many people lost their lives and everything that the world has gone, went through. And we're still, in some aspects or another, still.
We just need to throw 2020 away.
Come on now.
That's what I want.
Listen, but on the other end of the spectrum, and me personally, it was, in my household, it was one of the best things that could have happened, because it made me have to sit down and deal with my grief. And I'm sorry. It's okay. And so my grief was like, it was intense. And when I started doing that, literally the weight started falling off my body. I lost over 55 pounds during the pandemic. And
you lost damn near
right, literally. And then I started, like, even when I would look in the mirror, it was like, dang, I'm looking 10 years, 15 years younger. You know what I mean? Because I had let so much go, and so that emotional health and that spiritual and that mental health is everything. And then along with eating right and stuff, and just, and I never was a crazy eater, but I really got even more like like disciplined, and it's just a lifestyle now. Like my body can't even eat I can't even eat certain foods now. It just rejects it, And
I'm trying to get there myself.
Oh, but you know what? Hang on that journey.
I just started veganism. And so, I'm trying to get there.
You better, listen, hey, keep on that journey. I'm trying to tell you, it took me, it's been over a year, doing it, and I still do it, go to the gym all the time, but I get out and I walk every day. I get in that sun, that vitamin D. Yes, and because I love just feeling that sun on my skin and being out in nature. And my mother loved butterflies. So every time I go walking, a butterfly will follow me, sometimes pass me. So I look forward to going on my walks, because I know I'm going to see a butterfly. And I know I'm like, hey, Mom, you know what I mean? But I say all that. For you. Yes, but I say all that to say that, through it all, that was heartbreaking. Everything has been so heartbreaking. And then having to, just kind of navigate through life now and figure out, okay, what's next? And then my daughter turned 18 in March, and I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and open myself up for dating or whatever. Because also being a single parent, I really focus on being a single parent. And I never wanted my daughter to see men coming in and out of my house, because that's not me anyway.
Good.
And she's
Good.
never seen that. So
no, I do
ever.
agree with that. We've touched on this subject
Yeah.
in Ringside a few times, because children, they are impressionable. They do
Yes.
remember,
Yes.
just because your child may
Yes.
be small, don't think they're going to forget about.
Listen, they remember everything.
They
like
remember.
my daughter can tell you stuff now, and she's very protective of me, and as I of her, we're very close. And anybody that loves me, even though she's 18, they still have to love her too. You know what I mean? Because we are close. We have a great bond. And
We're a package deal.
We're a package deal, and that's just real talk. You know what I mean? And so I just always, that was a thing for me. Like, I just didn't want to, in no shade to anybody that has a different life. I just made a choice. And then my daughter was homeschooled. She's been homeschooled since she was a baby. So it was like, okay, anybody that comes in my life has to understand my lifestyle. My daughter would tour with me. My mom would tour with me. You know what I mean? All of that. And I just was like, I just know that it has to be somebody special to really come into my life and get that. You know what I mean? And then my personality and, just all of that. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you something. So, from being in the entertainment industry, all the years you have, from being on this earth a young 46 years,
Yes.
not a long time.
Come on, yes.
For the viewers out there, particularly the women, what would you say, or what do you think, and your thoughts and your ideas as far as, the world we live in, the society we live in, that at times stigmatizes women who are single, particularly single, past a certain age, or women who are unmarried. And, when you deal with so much stigmata, it can eat away at your self-esteem.
Yeah, totally.
And sometimes, when you feel like you have the pressures of the world telling you, or trying to make you feel a certain kind of way for being single, for some people, men and women, it leads them into toxic relationships, just simply to have somebody,
right,
just to say, hey, I'm no longer single.
Right.
So for the women out there and men, because there are men going through this as well, what would be your advice? Because again, there are people out there who literally go to bed and wake up depressed.
Yeah.
Have everything else in their life, all their ducks in a row, great career, got money in the bank. They got the luxury car, got the brick home, living in a nice part of the area, but again, going to bed and waking up miserable and depressed because society has made them feel less than for being single. So for that man or woman who feels that way, what would you say to them? Like, what uplifting words or empowerment would you say to someone who's feeling like that? Because I guarantee some people out there who fall into that bucket will watch this.
Oh, well, first of all, that just touches my heart. I would just say, run your own race. Like, what's good for somebody else is not good for you. May not be good for you. Let me just say that. And you can't, you can't care what other people think, because at the end of the day, you're the person that got to go home with that person and deal with that person. Listen, and you want to just make sure that you're dealing with the right person. That's just the reality of it. And listen, I was one of those people. I never thought I would get married. And I never thought I would have kids. And I work with kids and love kids, right? But I just never thought. And I got married. And even though it didn't last, and we're super cool, no love lost, I experienced it. So where I'm at in my life now, for those single people that have been married and divorced, I said, God, if it's meant for you, for me, if it's your will for me to get married again, so be it. And if it's not your will, so be it. I want to be happy either way. You understand what I'm saying? Because what's happened to me on my journey, God has sent me different people at different times. It could be totally platonic. But if something I need in that moment, this person may come and give it to me. And I'm just like, wow. So I've been getting everything I need from different people. And you know what I mean? Like, just people that I've known for years, or people I just met. Just a random person comes up and said something that I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
And so you just never know. So I think what I would just say, just stay open. Just open to whatever, is for you, and it will truly come if you just, like, for me, I'm just focusing on me. I'm focusing on myself, and I really believe that in my doing, if that's God's will for my life, it'll come.
No, and I have to say, just to supplement what you're saying, number one, as someone like myself, I'm divorced.
Yeah.
People need to understand there is life after divorce.
Yes, it is.
Divorce does not have to be a period. It can be a comma. It can be
Yes.
it can be a dash. It can be a lot of things.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be a period. It doesn't have to be the end.
Yes.
And there, for a lot of people who are single, and they deal with the emotions that come with being single, trying to remain optimistic and positive, it can be a challenge.
It can be, yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, it's definitely a challenge.
Yes.
However, I think what you laid out is perfect. I think it's perfect in terms of people understanding that. Again, me personally, I do feel like, and this is just something I've expressed to people. It's one thing to want a man or a woman or want companionship, whatever you may be looking for. I think that the best thing to do while you're single is to focus on self-growth and self-love and empowerment.
Yes.
And
getting your money together, getting your credit together,
get it all together.
Come on, somebody, get all that stuff together. You know what I mean?
That's your time. That's your time. You can focus
on you.
And you focus on you so much, eventually someone will gravitate and gravitate in your orbit. And they'll see you during your glow up or whatever you're trying to, regardless if you're trying to start a business or lose weight or
whatever it is,
get your money, whatever you're trying to do. I think when you're single, I think that's the biggest plus that maybe a lot of single people don't realize. Like, this is a great time to focus on you.
And let me say this also too, you can be married and still lonely.
True.
And still feel honestly like you're operating as a single person, because if it's not a partnership and you guys are not on one accord, it's not good. So I'm like, trust me, you know what I mean? It's marriage is not for everybody, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody. You have to do what works for you. And even a lot of people don't want to have kids. If you don't want to have kids, that's your personal choice. You know what I mean? Now, my daughter, I wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world. She is the most amazing. Oh my gosh, she's my greatest accomplishment yet. But that's me. You understand what I mean? I'm a very I'm a nurturer. I love, my daughter says, oh my God, Mom, you're so nurturing. But everybody's not like that, and then some people, know themselves and they say, I would be a horrible mother or a horrible father because I'm this. You got to know yourself. You know what I mean?
Self-aware. People, I think, people don't place enough stock in self-awareness. That's important.
Oh yes. So
know who you are.
Know who you are.
Know what you're good
and
at.
Know what you will tolerate and what
right.
you can tolerate. But I will say this: being married, it does make you look at things a lot different now. Like something as simple as like, okay, toothpaste off the top off the toothpaste, like that's nothing. Like the things that are so minuscule, you like, oh, that's nothing. You know what I mean? You just, it's almost like if you get a second time around and you're blessed with that, it's like a redo. You know what I mean? But with a whole nother energy, a whole nother person, if you do the work. Because see, some people don't do the work. You know what I mean? And so I committed myself to doing the work. I said, I've never been a person to jump from relationship to relationship anyway. But I was like, okay, I need to know, let me look at myself as, he has to do his work. But let me do my work. Let me see, because at the end of the day, we still have a daughter and we still have to deal with one another. You know what I mean? I don't care for the rest of all of our lives, we're going to still be connected. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I was determined. I was like, a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, a whole lot of that on my knees, praying to make sure that, my heart was in the right place, and that I truly was like, I forgive you, I forgive me, and that has been a struggle for me a lot of times, forgiving myself more than the other person, to be honest.
That's
because
important.
I'm just like, how could you let yourself oh, that was so stupid, those self-talks you have with yourself. At least I do.
There's nothing wrong with
yeah, listen.
nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Now when you start answering
right.
then you may that's when you need to go get some help.
But I've learned that I even had to give myself grace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's life. You know what I mean? And I'm really just at the place where I'm just really like just open. Just open. I am very. I have a very small circle, so my time is so precious, and I don't want to give it to just anybody. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you now. I mean, I just turned 42 a month ago, and the older I get, I realize.
Happy belated.
Oh, thank you. Feeling good, feeling great.
Yes.
The older I get, my circle gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah, man.
I actually prefer that. The older I get, I tell myself it's like I've been too cavalier in the past as far as calling any and everybody friend.
Listen, that's a word right there, bam, right there. Because everybody is, speaking of friends, that's a tried and tested thing. Mm-hmm. If you can go through the fire with somebody and still y'all can come out on the other end, okay? Because some people are your lifers, and then some people they just come in and they go. You know what I mean?
Or I just say some people are like, look, you're just an associate.
Exactly.
Or
or just somebody I know.
I'm like, I just know you. Just because we can break bread occasionally and take a few, that don't mean you're my friend.
Come on now.
And I had to realize I had to find that out the hard way, and I did mean the hard way.
Too.
And like I said, now I'm at a point where I'm okay with my circle being small, because the people I have in my circle now, I definitely trust them with my life.
Come on,
and I've had to, over the years, I've had to amputate people out of my life when I realized.
I love that, amputate. Come
on.
I
said, some people, it's like, what, to save me, I gotta cut you out.
Listen, I learned the value of no.
Yes. I
didn't understand. I didn't know the value of no. So now I can do it. I can say it in harmony. I can do it all kinds of ways, because setting healthy boundaries.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, because I did not have I just kind of let people just do what they wanted to do, and that's not good. And that also points back to me and not understanding at certain points in my life my value and my worth. You understand what I'm saying? But now that I know, so it's a difference. So
okay.
Yeah, I know that was a whole lot, but
well, I think that's a great place. I think that's a great place to leave it off. First, before we cut out, I do want to say again, this has been an absolute honor.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for returning my call.
Oh, of course, no problem.
I've been looking forward to this.
Yes.
But before we cut out, really briefly, for the people out there who may want to follow you on social media or a website, kind of, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, totally. And then I wanted to say one more thing before we cut out, if that's okay with you.
That's okay.
Okay, so my website is Eshe, E-S-H-E, Afro, like Afro, A-F-R-O, soul, like music, esheafrosoul.com. And on there, all my social media links, everything, all the artists I'm working with, everything I'm doing right now, you can stay up to date there. And I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page.
Right. Everybody make sure you go and follow it.
Right. I just joined Fanbase.
Okay.
And that's a new app started by Isaac Hayes' son. It's amazing. He created it for Black content creators.
I'm still trying to get in touch with him.
Isaac, yeah.
I'm like, I gotta let him know. I'm like, dude, I'm from Memphis. I went to your father's club.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're like, I've known his family for years. My sister and his sister, they used to dance for James Brown together. Heather Hayes. So that's like family. But so you can find me there, and I am working on a lot of different things right now. So definitely follow me, and I do talk to folks and I converse with people. So hit me up. Okay. And I want to say this before we cut out. So first of all, when you asked me to do this interview, I was like, wow, this is so different for me. You know what I mean? Because it's always normally, of course I talk about different things, but it's always music, pretty much music based, but I wanted to talk about the value of relationships and cultivating them. I was speaking with one of my girlfriends the other day, actually at a photo shoot, and I was sitting there and I began to talk, how long have we known each other? Oh my God, da da da. And I was like, wow, because a relationship that was nurtured and valued years ago, we're still standing here helping one another. You understand what I'm saying? And it just breaks my heart now. I just see people throw people away like trash now. Like if it doesn't work out a month or two, oh, okay, I'm not done. And if someone comes into your life and you know in your soul that was a divine relationship or a connection, you fight for that thing. You fight for it. If you need to apologize, let that ego and that pride go, you apologize. And whichever end is on, if it was between the two of us, you know what I'm saying? We have to humble ourselves and understand that God blesses us through people. Period.
True.
You know what I mean? And if you don't understand the value of cultivating relationships, you're going to miss out on so many things that God has in store, or period. You know what I mean? For you. And that's in romantic relationships. That's it. I mean, I have never seen so much throwing away of people in all my life. Like it blows my mind. And I'm totally, it's not even a judgmental statement or whatever, but it's just like I've never seen it at an all-time high like this.
And that divorce rate is still 50%.
You see what I'm saying?
It's still pretty bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you remember growing up. When I was growing up, it was a little different. People had a lot more compassion and empathy for people, and they cared a lot more. At least where I'm from. I don't know. You know what I mean? And everybody's story is different, but it's just heartbreaking now that people are I feel like so distant from one another. It's like, and then
you're disconnected.
It's such a disconnect. And we need each other. We need each other. I'm definitely not one of those people that say, I don't need a man, or, I don't need this person. Yes, we all need one another, because it could be as simple as you look amazing today. Just giving a word to somebody, and that can lift your spirits. And sometimes hearing it from the opposite sex with no intent, with no intentions, can lift you up. You understand what I'm saying?
You turn your day around.
Yes. And so I try to teach my daughter that, and through my life, and I'm not saying I've always gotten it right, but I love for people, and just loving on people. And it's just like crazy to me now. Like, people change folks like they change their underwear. Like, it trips me out. Like, it's crazy. So I just want to say, if nothing else, like, really, really, really assess your life and really look at the people that are in your life and say, you know what, I know that person's supposed to be here for a reason. If they have done nothing but bring value to your life, you better hold on to that person, because people of value are very hard to find. People with good hearts, they hard to find. Genuine people,
few and far between.
Come on now, listen. And so, like, the people in my life, they've been in my life 20 years, 30 years. I don't switch people up. You have to really do something really crazy for me to say, okay, you know what? And then I still give you chances. So I just wanted to say that. I don't know. It just breaks my heart. It really does. Like, you don't understand. Like, I just like, wow, you just throw the person away. You didn't try to talk to them or work it out. It's just crazy to me. So cultivate your relationships, because you don't know, you may need that person that you think you don't need. Life has a funny way of bringing that person right back around you. The very person you think you don't need, you gonna need them.
Life certainly has a sense of humor.
Listen, okay? So please, cultivate your relationships, like nurture them, value people, and let it be, and make sure it's reciprocated. I'm not saying it should be one-sided, right. But you know what I mean. We gotta get out of ourselves. We gotta, so much selfishness, and we gotta start getting our empathy and compassion back. But I'm telling you, social media it's a blessing and a curse.
Got that right. You know what? And I think that's a great way to end it.
Yes.
That is definitely a word as far as social media.
And thank you for having me too.
Thank you for
and listening.
You have blessed me, and you have blessed the viewers.
Oh, thank you.
This has been a very powerful interview. If you're out there, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is Ringside Corner Confessions. This is Troy Vaughn, also known as Trey Amazing, and we are out. See you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.